The Bad Batch episode 2 just dropped on Disney Plus. I have a review for the previous episode. You can check out my review now. So let's talk about this episode. So after the events of the previous episode, the Bad Batch are just kind of wandering around. They're deserters now. They're trying to figure out what their deal is. And they go to this planet where the techie guy, whatever his name is, I can't remember exactly. He says, he knows this guy here, and and they meet this family. Well, this is now, if you don't know, there's an episode. This is spoilers. We're in spoilers for Bad Batch. So if you don't want spoilers, click off now. But if you don't know, there's an episode of Clone Wars where we meet a deserter. Now this deserter is a clone that decided to start a family, and that was a big episode. And that was a great episode. That was one of my favorite episodes of that show. Well, now when you have that was one of my favorite episodes of that show. Now when you have this show, they bring them back, and I like that. But now there's a different context to it. Now they're trying to leave this planet because of what happened. I also like. So the most of this episode is just trying to get them off world because of what's happening on their planet, and that's most of this episode. But yeah, I think it was great to see those characters again because I really liked that episode of Clone Wars, and they didn't really have to bring them back, but they brought them back in an interesting way, and we also they also bring up that Rex went somewhere. Now we know from the trailers that have been released for this show that we are gonna see Rex in this show, like no doubt, but we don't know exactly what context that is. Echo seemed very excited as soon as he said the name Rex, of course, because we know they're buddies, longtime buddies. So I want to see where that goes. I want to see where that goes. I really can't wait to see Echo's and Rex's reunion and what that means. But let's get into the stuff I didn't like in this episode. I did not like Omega. Now, we know that she's a defective clone, but to what degree, to what that means, how that happened, we don't know. Even in this episode, they say they don't really make clones without a purpose, so what's her purpose? And they say, well, it doesn't matter, she's just a kid. And maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. We don't really know. I don't know what that character's deal is, and it's going to be interesting to find out what that character's deal is. But in the meantime, she's a very big tonal switch in this episode. Like, the first scene is nice when she comes out and she's not really left Kamino, and she like touches the grass and the dirt, and she's like, wow, what is this? I think it's a little bit like cheesy, but for the most part I thought it was okay. But but a lot of the scenes afterwards you see with her, they're just big tonal switches, and I don't buy that she has this big bond with the Bad Batch that she claims to have within this episode. They try to send her off with this family, and she ends up staying with them, which I expected that to happen. I don't think they would set up this mystery with this character and have her just leave our main characters. But it also just means like until I know what this character's deal is, I'm kind of can tell I'm going to be a little bit frustrated with this character because she is such a big tonal shift within the show. She's a kid, she doesn't know, and I think it's like kind of irritating when you're watching this show so far. I don't know. She could become a really great character. I don't know. I just don't know, but I think as a character, I just don't know how to feel about her yet. But overall, I think this is still a good episode. I'm still enjoying this show and what they're going to do in the show. So, yeah, good episode.